it's Johara. Welcome back to my channel, to TV Fanatic. So, I'm going to do a Criminal Minds video. I don't think I've really done many or at all, and that's a crime. I want to do one finally. This is going to be a countdown because I love countdowns, as you can tell. I'm going to do top 10 Emily and Spencer moments. I love their friendship. It's probably my favorite friendship. Individual friendship, not like the team as a whole, because the team as the whole is the best. But as individual friendships, they're definitely my favorite. I love them, and I feel like they're very underrated. So yeah, so I'm just going to count down my favorite Emily and Spencer moments. So at number 10, I have Emily's death. Emily's death was very sad. She's my favorite character. Spencer's a second. I know Spencer's a lot of people's favorites, and he is a close second of mine because I do love Spencer. But Emily, I just have this huge soft spot for Emily, and I don't even know why. But the moment she was introduced, I liked her, and I have liked her ever since. She is my favorite character, definitely, no doubt. So her death was very upsetting because she was my favorite. And all their reactions was the saddest part when JJ said she never made it off the table, and you could just like they're all crying and they're all upset, and it's heartbreaking. And Spencer tries to go past JJ to see Emily, and JJ stops him obviously because you find out that JJ and Hodge planned this whole thing because she didn't die, but she was close to it, and as long as Doyle's out there, then she is in danger. So, so JJ stops Spencer from going to see Emily because then he knows she's alive, and she and he said, "I never got to say goodbye." And then JJ hugs him. It's heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking. It gets me every time. Like seriously, that's like the whole Emily Doyle storyline is my favorite storyline in all these seasons, and I just love it. But it's also heartbreaking. So yeah. Number 9 is Spencer blaming himself for Emily getting captured. So this is in season 13. Yeah, this was in the very beginning of season 13 because Emily got captured by Scratch at the end of season 12. And several of them got hurt from the car crash. Emily got abducted, and then Walker was killed. So, and then Spencer and Penelope were the only ones out there. Spencer still wasn't he was still not fully back in the team yet after he got out of prison, and Penelope usually doesn't go with them on these missions. She's very few times does she actually go out with them. She usually stays in her little cave. But Spencer was still reeling from all the drugs that had gone in his body from what happened, and so his brain wasn't working as fast as he usually does, and his brain usually facts. Let me try that again. His brain usually runs like 10 times faster than a normal brain. So, and then there's this scene where he just like completely he throws a book. So Luke and Penelope run to see what happens, see if he's okay, and he he figures something out. I don't remember what he figured out, but he's like, and then Penelope and Luke are just looking at him. He's like, "What?" And she's like, "You threw a book at the wall," and he was like, and he was blaming himself because he thought he was like, if Emily dies because my brain wasn't working as fast as it usually does, and it was just really sad. Number 8, Spencer telling Emily about his headaches. This would be during the Doyle storyline with everything going on with Doyle. So Emily was keeping all these secrets and stuff, and wasn't herself. She was very jumpy and very scared, understandably so. And uh, but Spencer was also going through something. He was having these really bad headaches, and he couldn't explain it. The doctors, I don't think, could explain it, if I remember correctly. And so, uh, when sorry for I'm getting tired. When Emily went put like went near him and he flinched, and she was like, "You flinch," and he told her about the headaches, and it's just such a small scene, but it showed how much trust he had in her, because like she was the only person he told. He hadn't even told Derek, or and I'm pretty sure Derek or JJ, and they're like the ones he's supposed to be closest with. Don't get me wrong, I love Spencer and JJ's friendship, but I love Spencer and Emily's friendship more. I just feel like it's such an underrated friendship. Like they have so many sweet scenes, and it's just number seven, forgiveness. So after Emily came back and it was revealed that they had faked her death, he was really upset at Emily and JJ. He wasn't even that mad at Hotch, because Emily's the one that left and then supposedly died. He had to mourn her, and then JJ, ugh, stupid fly. Ugh, okay. And then JJ, he went to her house like every night for all this time. That fly is getting on my nerves. Um, he went to her house constantly for days and cried about losing his friend, and that's why he was so mad at JJ about it, more so than Hotch. Um, so yeah, but he ended up. So there's like this whole episode where he was like, it, base on, pretty much ignoring them unless it had to do with the job, because he was still being all professional and stuff. Wasn't gonna let what was going on personally affect the job, which is good. But um, on the plane jet ride back, Emily talked to him, asking if he's gonna go to Rossi's, because they were all gonna go to Rossi's, um, and see if he can actually cook. That's a funny line, but and he's like, I don't know, and then I don't remember what she said, but she basically said he needs to like get over this or something, and then they were all at Rossi's and they weren't, and Spencer wasn't there, but then there's a knock, and Spencer ended up coming, and him and Emily just shared this little sweet smile and nod, and it was sweet, and he finally forgave them. Number six is reuniting. Um, they reunited a few times. Because like Emily left, so they reunited whenever she came back for a minute. Like when there was the reunited when she turned out to be alive, and but she like reunited with everyone, and she hugged everyone, including Spencer and all, obviously. And then trying to think of all the times she came back. Like she came back when JJ was in trouble, but I don't think there was like a real moment between them. Um, because there's too much going on with JJ. Then there's the time where they were dealing with a personal case for her, and she asked for their help. And then that's also when she met Tara, and uh, she hugged all of them. And yeah, so I like their hugs. Number five is Spencer rescuing Emily from scratch and staying with her. So when they rescued Emily from scratch, she had actually escaped first, and she was trying to get out. I like the whole scene when the group was talking about it, and only a few of them has known Emily from the moment she joined the BAU. So they were all talking about what Scratch does and the mental games he plays, and um, they realized, because of the fact that Emily died before, and she explained that she only saw like black and cold, that if Scratch tried to make her think she was dead by showing her this whole brightness and this whole, utopia thing that she would be able to see through it because she died before and it wasn't like that. Um, so I like that scene, but that's not the point of this video. So I'm gonna move on. I just like that scene, and I don't even know why. But anyways, and then he's the first one that finds her, and he made sure she was okay. Then he was gonna run off to find Scratch because he wanted revenge. Uh, but Emily stopped him. She was like, please stay with me. I need to know. I need someone that I know is real right now." And Luke was there too. Like he had come as well, and Luke went after Scratch. So it showed that how much love and faith she had in Spencer because she needed someone she knew was real, and she knew Spencer was real in that moment. It was sweet. Number, I don't know what number I'm at. I'm at number 4. Yeah, 4. Uh, Emily getting beaten up. So this is one of my favorite episodes. It's when Emily and Spencer go undercover, and Luke Perry's in the episode. He's the villain. He There's this whole cult thing, and they were trying to. They posed as social. No, what was it? I can't think of the name. My mind is not here today. My brain is just mush. Um, they were there to because they got some complaints about kids and whatever. So they went undercover, but then they got a tip off that there was an FBI agent because of the news. Because the news said at least one FBI agent, and they knew that, so he knew it was one of them. So he had pointed the gun at Spencer because that was a little sexist if you ask me, because he just assumed it was Spencer because he's the guy. But I'm gonna move past that. But and so he pulled the gun at Spencer, and then Emily was like, "It's me." Um, and only me. So she gets dragged away and beaten. And then when Emily rejoins the group, and Spencer is like all upset because he was very upset about it. And then after the exploded building, Emily and Spencer hugged, which was a sweet moment. And then and the jet ride back, Emily told Spencer that she wanted him to know that it's not his fault. But the scene when she was getting beaten up was all upset because you could see all of them listening in it. They did what and they hated listening to it, and then but with what she was saying, and she was saying like, um, I can take it. It was her. It was her talking to the team, telling them not to come in yet. That it was just top notch. I love that episode. It's one of my favorites. Um, Number 3, Spencer standing up to Barnes. This was an amazing scene. When Emily was when they so em- Emily was like suspended. Yeah, suspended. Okay, I didn't think she was fired yet. She ended was going to resign, but Spencer um, um, Linda Barnes was going to go with them while JJ acted in Emily's place, and then Spencer got all upset. And he was like, "I'm not going to stand by here and let you destroy Emily's career because she's the best unit chief." And then he was like, "If you're going, I'm not." And then he leaves. And it's like, both Spencer and Emily have risked their jobs for the other at least once, and it's beautiful. Um, but I love that scene. I just love how he was willing to risk so much for Emily because he wasn't going to stand by there when he knows that Emily doesn't deserve what's going on with her and everything. Ugh, stupid fly. That fly's really getting on my nerves. Um, Number 2, Emily risking her job for Spencer. So when he was in prison, she made a deal uh, to while doing the cognitive interview to record it. But when she was, he the drugs was only making him remember what the person behind it wanted him to remember. So he was only incriminating himself more. So she ended up deleting the recording and told the guy that she didn't record it at all. And um, it's such she risked so much for Spencer, and Spencer didn't like to hear that she did that, but she was like, I don't regret it, and they really are a family, and I love it. Number one, Spencer getting Emily to keep fighting. So after he went off on Barnes, he went to Emily's place, and Emily did not like that she did that, and he realized that she was packing and she was gonna leave, and so he spent the episode, pretending to help her pack when really he was trying to convince her to keep fighting. And I really love what he said. He named off several people that she personally has saved, um, and and then he's like, well, here's seven more people that need to be saved, and then he named off all of them, him, Derek, Penelope, JJ, Luke, Tara. He named them all off. And wait, did I say Derek? I did. Derek's not on anymore, is he? At this point, no. I guess I got used to saying Derek because he was on for so long. But Rossi, and yeah. So and then so he had convinced her to keep fighting for them, for herself, and it was such a sweet scene. And they did fight, and they ended up winning. They always win. Like, people have always tried to tear the PIU because but they always win in the end. But yeah, so that's this video. Please like and subscribe and comment your favorite Spencer and Emily moments from Criminal Minds. I would love to hear it. So, yeah, and we'll chat below in the comments. I'll talk to you guys later.